What's up, guys? Welcome back to Amazing RC. It's your boy Brian, and well, we got RC Dale's Traxxas Slash in front of us, and I finally get to get started on a project that's about, well, 2.5 years in the works. If you remember, this is a truck that I was supposed to build for RC Dale a while back now, and because he's a really good friend of mine, I kept pushing it off to the back burner. And, well, take a lesson from me, kids. Don't do that to your friends. I feel really, really bad about it. Well, here it is, and we're going to wrap this thing up with a Proline F-150 Raptor body, and I'm very juiced about that. I dug up all the decals to go to this body. This thing's got matte black everywhere, all over it in decal form over the wheel wells. It's also got the normal OEM, decals for the Ford F-150 Raptor. This thing is going to look smoking hot. But before we get to the actual painting of the truck, I'm going to get this slash cleaned up a bit, and I've got a bunch of this old slash parts. This is just spare nylon. A lot of this is brand new. I've got the rear bumper. I've got some body posts, and this body post in particular, because this one is just, it's worn out, it's seen its time. I've got maybe even some new springs. So we're gonna swap out some nylon parts, whatever I can get my hands on, kind of freshen the car up a bit before we get the body on here. Also, I noticed that there was a couple quick fixes on here as well. So we're gonna get all this stuff taken care of. We're gonna get this car cleaned up, and we're going to get this F-150 Raptor body on it, and we're going to get it painted. So before we get this on here and address the giant hole that's in the back, as I said before, we're going to get this thing cleaned up and get it all worked out, and we're going to do that right now. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, that little transition took about 4.5 hours. I did replace a lot of parts, okay? I mean, quite a few parts. I did upgrade or fix a couple things along the way as well. I added a tiny bit of hardware and a lot of nylon. So in the 4.5 hours that we got into the slash, I did a lot of structural stuff. I pulled the whole front end apart. I knew that I had some of the nylon up front, so I wanted to swap everything out. When I pulled the shocks off, I noticed that the shocks were in pretty bad shape. So I tend to the shocks first. And after rebuilding the front shocks, of course I checked the rear as well. And one of the two rear shocks actually was missing the diaphragm on the inside. So these must have been worked on at one time or another, and the diaphragm never went back on. So it didn't have any oil in it at all. The springs that were on here, the stock white springs, they were very tired. And I happen to have, these are actually hot racing springs, and they come off a set of hot racing shocks that I had from a long time ago from an old, I think it was a Traxxas Slash that we built. I kept the springs because they were anodized blue and they looked really cool. Well, they're extremely stiff, so I threw those on here as well. I had an issue in the back where the spring was actually rubbing on the linkage here, so I put a spacer underneath and I fixed that. I swapped out all the nylon in the back, both parts up here, both parts underneath this rear bumper section, and it's either brand new or very slightly used. So structurally, the car's got a really good foundation. I put all brand new hardware in, everything back here. Some of the hardware was missing or it was incorrect. I swapped out for all brand new stuff. So tomorrow we have to tend to the electronics. Now, I'm not going to replace any electronics because RC Dale told me that this truck runs like a beast, which we're going to find out this weekend, as a matter of fact. We're going to take the Emax out. We're going to run against this slash, so be on the lookout for that video as well. Hopefully I'll have that one up by Sunday. He told me this car runs perfectly fine, so we're not going to mess with any of the electronics except for some of the wiring. It looks like some of these were real quick fixes. So I'm going to fix all of this, every bit of this. We're not going to do any of these little twisties on here. So I'm going to get that tomorrow. I'm going to tend to the battery tray a little bit and kind of tighten that up. That should take, I wanted to get that done tonight. And it's just too late. It's about 10:30 right now, and I've got other stuff that I've got to do. I'm gonna get to the electronics and tighten up the battery tray, and I'll tell you, tomorrow we're gonna get this body fit on here and hopefully start laying out some paint. Guys, I'm very excited right now. I just can't wait for it. Oh, I also found the decals as well. Like I said, ton of matte black decals. Also, the actual OEM decals for the F-150 Raptor. More OEM decals for the F-150 Raptor. I'm Jack, guys. We're going to see you guys tomorrow with another video. It's going to feature this Traxxas / RC Dale. I hope you dig it, brother. It's Brian, Amazing RC. We're going to get you guys another really cool video very, very soon.